はい、次のゲームはですね、Nicktoons Unite ということで、こちら、解説の方がいらっしゃいませんので、詳しい方いらっしゃいましたら解説に来てくださるとありがたいです。次の Nicktoons Unite なんですが、ゲームキューブのゲームで、カテゴリーがニューゲームプラスソロということで、このソロっていうのが、このゲーム4人のキャラがいて4人で遊ぶこともできるゲームなので、それをソロでやるっていうことですね。はい、友達が必要になってきますね。で、タイトルのニックトゥーンズですが、これは、アメリカのケーブルテレビチャンネルニコロデオンで放映されていたオリジナルアニメのシリーズの総称だそうです。だからそのニコロデオンのアニメのキャラが、団結するっていうことですね。そうですね。いろんな枠を超えたそのニコロデオンの中でのオールスターみたいな感じなんですかね。ですね、一応ストーリーはスポンジボブがスポンジボブの中のキャラのプランクトンが巨大な掃除機でビキニボトムという場所ですねを乗っ取っていることを発見するところから始まりますということで、そこで4人じゃない、3人か。ジミー・ニュートロン、ティミー・ターナー、ダニー・ファントムという、あと3人ですね。その3人と 力を合わせて悪いやつをやっつけると。悪者の方もですね、プランクトン、ブラド・プラスミウス、デンゼル・クロッカーって、その各アニメの悪者ですね、それが集まってシンジケートを結成し、エネルギーを盗んでいるということですね。それで味方のジミー・ニュートロンっていうのが天才少年っていうことなんですが、このジミーがスポンジボブを脱水症状から守るために自己再生水分でコーティングしますっていうことでなんかね発明したんでしょうね。常に脱水症状の危険があるんだな、スポンジボブはかわいそうに。そうですね、もうストーリーから言って多分陸でやらなきゃいけないんでしょうね。だから脱水症状になっちゃうんだろうな。さっきのね PSP のゲームは海の中だったけど、スポンジボブの他の3人が人間なのでどうしても陸でやらないといけないのかも。
So I think we should be about good to start Nicktoons Unite. So I'll send it over.
Alright, cool. We'll be live in 5.
来ましたね。
Earlier when I was practicing, I got kind of scared because after I got the debug in prison, I landed back in bounds. Alright.
We are live.
Woohoo, we're live. Alrighty.
Ooh,
Hello, everybody. My name is Crow3893. I will be running this game for you guys, but I'll let my commentators introduce themselves.
Hey, I'm Drunkle Titus.
Hey, I'm Jaxler. Drunkle and I are a co-op duo who sort of originally started working on the New Game Plus co-op category. Crow is going to be showing off solo, so he's going to be doing all the crazy co-op stuff that we do, but as one person, so we'll talk about that a bit more. This game sucks. Hope you all enjoy it.
This game's incredible.
Yeah, so for those of you who don't know what this
ね、
game
どの辺がバットなんですかね。普通の、ね、一番面積でかく取ってるね、スポンジボブ。
Yes. But it revolves around 4 Nicktoons heroes, SpongeBob SquarePants, Timmy Turner, and Jimmy Neutron, and Danny Phantom, who you see right here. They're trying to stop the evil syndicate from destroying all 4 of their universes. And basically, we have to roam around and like stop all the villains because there's 4 of them who are coincidentally their rivals. Now, this category NG Plus is as normally in New Game Plus category where we start off like we get to replay the game with most abilities and things already unlocked. So it's a huge advantage for this game because this game requires us to get abilities throughout each of the levels. And normally in any percent we would have to collect them, but in New Game Plus, because we already have them unlocked, we don't have to worry about that. But we have them with the advantage of also them being fully upgraded, which is really useful for many segments in this run, especially for specific levels to beat them much quickly. But it's going to be very interesting. And as Jax mentioned earlier,
このゲームね、よくわかんないんですけどね、スピードラン .com ではね、グリッチ、いいのか、グリッチレスが1時間46分で、ニューゲームプラスが1時間2分だから、なんか40分分短縮するとこがあるってことですね。
Alrighty, so here we go. So time starts when I select the first level right here, which is the Ghost-Zone Prison. Alrighty, here we go in 3, 2, 1, go!
グッドラックです。
Luck.
Much appreciated, guys. So right off the bat, we're going to be entering to Jimmy's lab, and we're going to be entering this portal that transports us into the Ghost Zone Prison. Now, there is
はい、では、キャラクターの説明を一応
quite a while, and that has to
しますと、
so
一番右の赤いシャツの子がジミー・ニュートロン。
and if you're curious how long
ジェームズ・アイザック・ニュートロンは2001年のニコロデオンの映画ジミー・ニュートロン・ボーイ・ジーニアスの主人公です。
Yeah, you got SpongeBob with the eyeliner.
科学的な知識と発明を使って問題を解決する非常に知的な少年。
Asked if the GameCube version is significantly different from PS2. Crow, maybe you
2006年に NHK の総合のアニメ劇場枠でも放送されてたみたいですね。
So this game on GameCube has some frame rate issues.
それから
But we've been
そう
told
ちっちゃいピンクの
this version doesn't have issues at all.
サリーちゃんのパパみたいなのが映ってますけど悪者だな。
Really tested because many of the runs have been done on the GameCube version of this game.
一番左の子か、ピンクのシャツの子がティモシー、ティミー・ターナーでティモシー・ティベリウス・ターナー、ザ・ファミリー・オド・ペアレンツのキャラクターで、
Telling us what the evil syndicate are
この子はねすごいねちょっとねストーリーが悲しかったんですよね。10歳なんですけど典型的ないじめられっ子で、また両親から愛されてはいるものの関心を持ってもらえずっていうね、それは愛されているのかっていうね家ではベビーシッターのビッキーにいじめられているってすごいかわいそうですね。
he's doing is he's pulling out the bubble bomb and letting it
でその彼のこの少年のもとにコズモとワンダという妖精の夫婦がやってくるということで、なんでこのザ・フェアリー・オッド・ペアレンツなんですね。
and so as a result
で今ですねネットフリックスで見られるみたいです。
it can shove them away from you to resolve the collision difference
そ
and
れから黒い服着てる白っぽい髪の男の子がダニー・ファントム
and so whenever you fall far enough out of bounds and pretty much
で、ダニー
you'll be wrapped
フェントンっていう人でスーパーヒーローアクションアドベンチャーということですね。
you can essentially use
そのテレビシリーズの主人公
navigate to the end of the level. So this is one of
で
the
14歳で幽霊狩りをする風変わりな両親と16歳の姉と暮らしている。でこの、ダニーの能力は人に憑依する能力っていうのがあるみたいですね。
this level in order to not soft lock in future levels. So what he can do
で、この4人の、キャラを操作して、各キャラクターのシリーズの悪役
angles on his left
の、計画、邪悪な計画を阻止するために協力していると。
out of the game.
もう初っ端からずーっとなんかずーっと
Perspective between
落ちてるけど
playing the game, and if there's only one player playing the game, then it centers the camera on that player. So
そうね、ダニー・ファントムのアニメは日本でのね放映がされてないみたいですね。
called Sub-Boss Defeated Walker. So there is like two dev
で
debug
も終わったのコンプリートってなってたけど
level, and the other to trick the game into loading in like a glitched Walker fight.
クリアしたんかな今。
So Crow just wanted to show that one off for the swag.
Yeah, it's pretty funny, but it's also scary because if you actually wait a bit after you hit that debug, the game actually crashes. So that was
まあ確かにバットかもしれないな。
when I was practicing,
いやでもそれは普通の RTA でもあるかもしれないから
which is pretty strange. But it's basically like
まだわからない。
exclusive thing, which is not good.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, so we were able to finish that level way quicker than intended. Normally that level takes like 8 minutes glitchless or like casually wise, but in 90% we had to like roam to get an ability for Danny. But in New Game Plus, because we don't have that issue, we can just go out of bounds early and go to the end. And now we're in this next level, which is gonna end pretty quickly, so I suggest you don't blink. Drunko, can you explain what I'm gonna be doing?
We'll figure out a plan.
So we're going to be doing a similar trick to what we did to get out of bounds there. Basically, the Fenton lab here is out of bounds in the general Amity Park area, except it exists at the very end of the level. So we're going to clip Danny out of bounds here, and the house is right next to the end of the level, and he's just going to fall into the trigger for it, and Amity Park's just done, just like that.
Just like that. You would
そうね、人間がね、3人いてね、スポンジが入ってるっていう
glitch for any
のが
percent
ね、
to get both Jimmy's and
人気キャラクターだから。
because you have to get Timmy's. Normally, any percent requires a clip with it, but again, because I don't have to worry about that, it's all good with that. But it's just really funny that they put the very beginning of the level right next to the end. It's well made. Again, a well made 2005 license.
一番有名だよね、スポンジボブが。
Adjust the volume on the game a little bit, just while we're in this cutscene.
Yeah. Also, oh yeah, that's right. So feel free to enjoy this really excellent voice line.
That's why you're the boy genius. That's why.
It's so good.
It's just glitched, so it just loads fast. Alright, I'm gonna take over here real quick, because Crow's gonna be actually doing a really difficult sequence here. He's gonna set up a bomb before this cutscene plays so that the fuse starts ticking down. And then he's gonna clip Danny out of bounds here. So, there is a ceiling to how much
あ、
height
これまた
the level wraps you.
どっか上行ったり下行ったりしてるな。
We can only use out of bounds so far into this level. So right there, he specifically lands on a plane of geometry out of bounds, so that if he messes up here and hits a kill plane, it'll actually teleport him back there instead of inbounds. And so normally, if you were doing like a world record attempt, you would just go for the Hail Mary
これはすごいな。
of this out of bounds stretch. But Crow is actually going to be landing back inbounds.
顔のアイコンが。
In order to get SpongeBob back inbound, so he can set another checkpoint for improved safety. Because if you hit a kill plane, it'll take you back to the last safe point you were at, and that can cause you to lose a lot of time. So this is kind of like a nice middle ground, where between like safety and speed. So he gets Jimmy in there, so he can get SpongeBob in. SpongeBob has this glitched hitbox from until the end of the level.
なんか普通にやってるとこの方がもしかして短いの？
And so now
そんなことそんな。
on the cutscene, there's all these generators that we have to break. He's gonna be skipping.
じゃあ我々は
landing Danny
なんかこういうステージを攻略するんだなーっていうのをちょこって見ながら
around, and then
通り過ぎていくのをこう見るわけだね。
he's gonna try to do another partner warp to get Jimmy inbounds here. And so you're noticing he's pausing in a bunch of spots. That accomplishes two things. You mentioned and he got it first try. Nice, nice.
Gary.
なんかうまくいってるっぽいですね。
The warp here is a little bit inconsistent.
Yeah,
There we go.
so he's gonna swap to Jimmy. He's gonna get Danny out of camera so that he can partner
あ、普通にしてる。普通にプレイしてる。
that gets him back inbounds. And so he's gonna use the 3-hit punch combo that moves Danny forward a little bit every time he does it, which is the fastest form of lateral movement we have in this run. That was really well done.
この移動方法もこれが一番早いからこうしてるんだろうけど、普通に走るよりこれが早いわけだ。
Slower because the more you walk around, like when you're underneath the flooring and like you continue moving around, the character will slowly rise back up. But the issue is that it's much slower, so it's just easier to do an ally warp instead, just to save like a little bit of time. Just because it can be inconsistent.
あ、敵が初めての敵？
And which spots they're in, because apparently that's how like the game likes to tell like whether to spawn in certain characters or not. It's like whether the distance or of like the just like the distance of how far each of the characters are, as well as like from the camera specifically, because that's also how the camera can also work. Is that it sometimes goes to one of the nearest enemies, which is why I mainly quit out
あ、
from the second.
これ今憑依したんですね。これ人じゃない人に憑依してるわけじゃないじゃない動物じゃないか。
I mentioned how one of the biggest struggles in this game is also with the frame rate issues, which is mostly a GameCube issue as well. So especially with this part right here,
おー
actually dropping frames, like literally this game.
あー、それぞれのキャラクターの固有のなんか能力があって、それじゃないと通過できないところがあるわけですね。
We saw a little bit of it during that out of bounds.
そういう移動速度とかはあれなのかな、誰が速いとか多分差異があるんだろうな、きっと。
Manipulate some of the lag and avoid some of those really bad ways. So he's gonna get the three-piece here. So you have to like hit all of these towers before it like unfreezes. Otherwise, like you just take a boatload of damage and you're just like, why?
多分この
So that's the one like one of the we actually have to
ダニーが一番速いのかな、移動が。
I think me and Drunk
そんな感じがする。
Yeah. Oh, the room loaded in this time.
Oh yeah, this game has a struggle in trying to. We're not sure if this looks like a PS2 issue, but on GameCube, this game really struggles to load in like specific levels. Specifically, this one. During our practice, this level had trouble loading in every single time.
Yeah, so he's gonna partner work. He's gonna put him in the corner and then align sponge
あ、また押し出してるな。
up left into the stairs into the cutscene trigger. Nice.
ああ、
That's a. Wait, Crow says that's easy.
これ抜けてきっとイベントに突入して、あ、クリアしたわ。
Jackson and I have had a lot of struggles
It's
with
only
it.
when you have to business in SpongeBob, because like all you have to do with Danny is just hold up the entire time, because there's two like the cutscene trigger really just extends that far, which is pretty weird. Because like normally like you're just like supposed to, like it's also like a bit out of
ま
bounds.
た悪いやつ。
Because you're normally supposed to walk on the stairs in order
Give
for
it
it to
up,
activate.
Vlad. You've lost
So
your
now we're
power
currently
and
entering
Amity
into
Park has
Vlad's
been
castle
saved.
to meet up with
It's
Vlad
all
after he
over,
decided to
just
be a
give up.
meanie.
これはきっとダニーの
Goes to prison.
キャラ、ダニーのアニメの悪いやつなのかな。
Ghost energy for our device.
Voice lines are just
Our
really funny.
device?
Shout outs to Martin Mull for the,
Syndicate is
the voice
building
actor of
something?
Vlad for being able to
Said
just
very
handle
soon.
voicing him in this
You
game.
will all bow down to the.
He really steals the show. He really does.
It doesn't matter
Yeah.
what your plan is.
So
to stop.
as we're watching this, this fight is actually pretty tricky. In co-op, you have the advantage of having two people piloting characters, and so generally one person is tasked with doing a damage stun lock with Danny, and the other is helping to manipulate the boss patterns. Crow has to do both of those.
あ、ボス戦だ。ブラッド。
Tap the A button in a rhythm to do sort of this weird glitched.
あ、これまたダニーで
And then he's gonna
憑依してる。
grab this purple soup with Danny. That's actually, for one, gonna refill his like super meter so he can continue using his powers. But on top of that, it also manipulates Vlad
バリアみたいなのを剥がして
so that he can smack him twice, which instantly cues
殴ると。
next phase. And so he's gonna do a rinse and repeat. So he does a punch, manages to skip that attack, overshadows Mr. Fenton again. And then he goes for the punches to disable the shield before he can take damage. This should be the 3 seconds.
Very
Oh.
nice.
Absolutely textbook.
Yeah, I've had runs where I've lost like the time due to 4 cycles, and it's if you're wondering like how long the cycles usually take for bosses, they take at most like 20 seconds or like 10 seconds, because in this game there's normally supposed to be like a
で
combat
もなんかポータルを
but
通ってどっか行っちゃった。
2 times after the manipulation, we're able to
オレンジの人の隣の水色の人なんていたっけいたっけ今。
So now we basically saved Danny's parents and we stopped Vlad, but he said like it's not over. It's far, far from over for the evil syndicate. But I mean, you never really know what could happen with that, I guess.
我々もポータルを通っていくぞということですね。
Into the next place, which is
そうですね、憑依してたのがオレンジのおじさんに乗り移ってましたね、今。
this time instead of the actually yeah, same 4 levels just like with this one. And right off the bat, I actually waited a bit before I skipped that cutscene, because every time if you were to skip that cutscene in
あ、ビキニボトムなんで、これスポンジボブの
it just
ふるさとですね。ふるさとかな、わかんないけど。
Yeah, one of the
Very well made game, by the way.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
very-
one of the big reasons everyone likes running New Game Plus is because it's a level select. So if something like that happens in like a marathon setting, you just
これは海の中だ。
where you left off, and it's still a valid run, which is kind of nice.
now we're currently in Bikini Bottom, and we're
ああ、普通にプレイしてる。
basically have to like like make her a path so she can go forward. But these enemies can sometimes hit her, and when she does, she backs up, which not only like slows her down, gives her like a longer animation, but it's also because sometimes she'll do jumping jacks, which actually is much slower because it gives a bit of a delay for when she has to continue walking. And look at that, we opened the bridge for her. Let's see if we can go. Oh heck, the darn bridge has collapsed.
Yeah, so this level is actually like this is traditionally always it always probably will be the longest level. Just because like it is
味方の3人はなんかこう水中用の何かとかは来てたりしないんですね。
sort of developments recently. So for example, that overshadow long jump right there.
Still mad about that.
I'm very mad about that one too.
I mean, you won't be mad about this cutscene skip.
Yeah, no, that was
That's
very
classic.
solid done. Yeah. So there's like a bunch of whenever Danny like does that like
Actually,
going ghost
real quick, I'm
mode.
just gonna... You can't
落ちて
stand
た。
on
あ、
the
落ち、
area on
ん
the platforms before. You can just
これは
fall down and
これは失敗しただけか。
through them, which is pretty funny when you're on higher places.
Yeah.
Again, a well-made licensed beat-em-up game released in 2005, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep. This is a 2005 game.
Heck yeah.
Alpha Bikini Bottom came out before.
Yeah, this game is,
Oh, wow.
in my opinion, this one is the greatest game that has SpongeBob in it.
Wow.
That's a controversial opinion.
Yeah. So there's a lot of out of bounds stuff we're trying to mess with yet, but nothing's quite lined up. So we're going to be doing kind of the classic strat, which is a glitch called cheerleader jump. So he's going to be doing this with two controllers, one with Timmy and the other with Jimmy. He's going to have one controller just kind of holding in place with Timmy, and then he's going to quit out as Jimmy while he lands on top of on Timmy's head as the AI. This puts the AI into a state where it thinks it's stuck. So what it ends up doing is jumping to get itself unstuck, and then Crow retakes control of Jimmy mid-air, and it gives him like this boosted jump to get him up and over the wall.
一応操作してないキャラクターも敵とちょっと戦ったりしてますね。
Jimmy's football helmet to get a little bit of extra movement. I thought you were gonna fall into the pit, and I was gonna laugh, but
Oh, no,
you
don't
managed to
worry.
be a god, so you
I
got
can
it
easily
covered.
space it out. It's a bit tougher, kind of. It's normally easier with Danny's overshadow.
Yeah.
Yeah, so now we meet up with Sandy again, and here's a quick little fun fact about this part of the level. So this section not only drops down the lowest frame rate at like 23 frames per second, this part is actually right behind where the beginning of the level is by going out of bounds, because a couple weeks ago I was trying to test to look for an out of bounds for this level, and kind of found something, but I can't really replicate it anymore, which it can save a lot of time, because like these Sandy sections are just really long, as you can see right here, because we have to wait quite a bit for her, and I have to make sure that the AIs are also not next to her, because she can also stop when they're also next to her, and it just really is kind of trouble
ああ、イベントを待ってただけか。
cooperate. Oh look, another bridge.
なんかね、ちょっと止まったりね、なんかちょっと
Run luck.
I love how she
普
says
通と違う動きしてるとすぐなんかやるんじゃないかと思ってね。
Before the bridge collapses. It's so good.
she's clairvoyant, yeah.
Yeah, she can tell
It's
the
incredible.
So now we have to meet up with her, and she has to go another way. And I'm just gonna.
Oh, you can do that. That's sick.
Yeah, I'm still so mad about. There's a couple of things that
Oh, I got
Crow
a
is.
height boost. That's
Oh,
right.
nice.
There's a couple things Crow has found that has just made me upsetty spaghetti, and like, there's several of them are in this level, and mostly just because this level sucks.
As long as you like.
Hey, hey, man, save it for the next level, because there's gonna be one interesting thing I'm gonna do.
Yeah, that's true.
I know what you're gonna do, and I hate it.
Yeah. Okay, SpongeBob's kind of far away. Okay, there we go. Good SpongeBob spawn. He was a bit far away from the camera, so let's see. Okay, that did not happen. So, little guest appearance, if I can get it.
Noodle Mob is actually just one of the
こ
worst
れは
of all time.
なんだ
It just does not work.
That's like the only. This is like the only time you use it too.
Plus, he can actually cause the game to soft lock. Like, you can soft lock in this section because of his placement. It can mess up the robot from hitting the button or like dropping down the button entirely.
なんかスポンジボブでなんかお水みたいの与えて、いやお水の中だから水与えるっておかしいけど育ててましたね。
First to bring back to the Krusty Krab because they were all scattered at their plankton was being a meanie head and made them scatter all around. So we have to meet up with them and then report back with Sandy.
あ、また
Yeah, so he did another partner warp right there with SpongeBob, so they just got him like out of harm's way.
And
He's gonna do a partner death warp. So when you like die, it kind of like centers the camera in on
こ
everybody.
れは別になんか落ちてもペナルティ的なものはないいんですね、きっと。だから落ちて戻る方が早かったらそうすると。
With the rest of the party, so that you can start using his fast 3-hit combo movement. That 3-hit combo is actually part of the reason you don't fully upgrade Danny's like 3-hit combo, is because if you do, it ends up making his movement slower. So great game.
Great game. Again, a great game in 2005. Okay, so now we saved all of them, and we're in this giant long dialogue of Sandy explaining what's Plankton's scheme because somehow she knows. Not really sure how. Maybe she's double-siding, like she's probably like double-crossing him right now. But in the meantime, we're just gonna have this giant dialogue with just her like explaining like what we're gonna have to do to progress onwards into the next level. One thing I should ask right now, like somebody mentioned earlier. Oh, so fun fact, that's the only that image of SpongeBob is the only time you ever see it in the entire cutscenes, and that's only on the GameCube version. But another thing I did want to ask was, I saw earlier that people were mentioning about like audio issues. Is the game audio still okay compared to?
I think it's still a little touch.
ああ、スポンジボブのリスの女の子のサンディはちゃんと水中だからスーツ着てますね。
Sometimes that will just happen, but
Alright. Okay, that should be okay now.
yeah, hopefully that's a bit better.
Yeah, because I'm just waiting for it. Okay, so this is the end of Bikini Bottom. Okay, I'm gonna get lag. I'm gonna play it safe and wait because my disc is just making noise.
Yeah,
Okay, there we
so
go.
like this game murders Wheeze. Like it like messed up mine and my disc. Like this game is just it is self-destructive. Like I don't know how else to put it.
Yeah, so here comes this level, and okay, I'm gonna do this just for the heck of it.
I hate you. So
That's
he's
the
going
worst.
for the 80%.
Oh my god!
Oh, it was so fast. Oh.
え
Okay, so
抜けたね。
Screw us, I guess. But so the big reason why everyone actually runs New Game Plus is that wall clip sucks because you just have to wiggle two characters next to each other and hope the game gives up. The game gave us the goods extremely quickly there, but typically you can just use a bomb clip and just not have to bother with that nonsense. I'm upset.
Yeah, no,
that's-
like Jack said, that one clip is literally the entire reason we came up with the New Game Plus category. It's so bad. It's so hard.
Yeah, but recently I have been trying to work with it to see if there's like a more semi-consistent way, and it's pretty strange because in that specific part of the gate, Danny
ど
can
こを歩いているんだ。
turn on the top. They'll move more they'll like continuously like move like back and forth like they just drank a whole bottle of 5-hour energy, and basically like that's mostly when they're going towards down left. But
これはすごいな。もうなんかオブジェクト見えないもの。
so maybe what happens is that like when the character is just continuously moving.
本配信の方がバットバットって言ってるからね。ちょっと面白いですね。
That's currently the theory right now, and I'm still trying to test it. But yeah, that's normally what's not supposed to be done in NG Plus, but in any percent, that's the main thing. And I just did it for the heck of it. But
戻ったと思いきや
Yeah, so for context for all the people who have no idea what the hell is
ま
going
た抜
on.
けていくと。
In this level, there's a bunch of mini bosses, which are these like jellyfish vacuum.
戻った。
harvesters, yeah.
Yeah, gonna hit a funny debug trigger right there to the puzzle, which also upsets me.
Yeah,
But-
so in the areas that was skipped with the out of bounds, it skipped the 2-minute cutscene where we met up with Patrick, but also having to defeat 5 jellyfish harvesters, which are a pain to deal with and are just very slow. So it saves quite a lot of time, and now we get to go over here with the Flying Dutchman.
Yeah, so this is an interesting one and kind of where we see some movement differences between a co-op and a solo run. Because with co-op, you have a second player, and generally the more enemies that there are on screen doing things, the more lag there is. So generally in co-op, what you end up doing here is, obviously one on Danny so that he can hit the ghosts. And you typically have another player on Jimmy that sporadically enters and exits game to use the flare gun to stun all the enemies so that they can't use their projectiles and cause a bunch more lag. So Crow, as a single player, is just going to do this as Danny and just sort of murder all the ghosts in turn.
い
Even
や
though
基
that
本的にダニーを操作してるけど、ダニーは強キャラなんですかね。
It's not
Oh, it's not? Okay, I thought it was. I guess it. Oh, wait, no, yeah, it did. There we go. It went away.
This game sucks. Okay, anyway, so this is a strat that I found. This is like my one thing is I figured out that you could skip this awful SpongeBob suction puzzle.
Ah, too low.
It's
Yeah,
pretty.
It's
あーここもギミックを操作しないで抜けていきたいと。
It's a good thing though because it takes forever for him to suck up the water, and then he moves incredibly slow once he
There we go.
once he
There you go.
finishes.
Yeah,
Nice.
that's a.
Like,
おーいったいった。
still worth it. It's probably still worth it.
Yeah, that trick's a little bit difficult to get because there's like like there's an invisible wall around it, like much bigger than the model looks, which is what I was mostly rubbing up against. And then like you can't be like too low because sometimes you can be a bit lower from like from where the end of the level from the end of the platform is at. So it's just making sure to just get the right timing for both those instances. Again, another issue.
コインみたいのを取ると999で
Off the engine of the drink.
止まってますね。あれマックスなんだ。
It's an immediate death, which is just very funny because he just falls into the void of the stinky gas. And then this one's gonna disappear after a little bit. Wait for it. Actually, yeah, let's just wait for it.
What
Ma-
even happens here?
Oh, okay, I guess I didn't hit it one
なん
more
か
time.
準備してるしてない
There
か。
we go. Wait, there we go. Okay, what is up with the animations right now?
What?
Ah, this
This
game.
game
This
sucks.
is the worst.
Friendly
I'm
reminder,
getting
everybody,
mad.
that this is Nicktoons Unite, released in 2005 for the Nintendo GameCube and PlayStation 2, a well-made beat 'em up.
I get mad whenever I see some stuff in this game happen.
And yeah, and also shouts to the Flying Dutchman for being able to just go through the flower clouds and also just being able to clip into the void.
Into the sky.
ラステージクリア。
All right, now we're coming into Jellyfish Factory, which I feel like in every well, besides glitchless, like every category is pretty neat. Just because it's really tough. Yeah, glitchless.
Glitchless
any
is it.
percent. Yeah, any percent has some interesting strats here, but it's not as cool. New Game Plus, this level is sick because this is normally the level where you pick up the bubble bomb for the first time. So you get to do a little bit of bubble bomb clipping in any percent, but we have to do a really tricky out of bounds strat where it's very much a fundamentals check of understanding how out of bounds camera movement works, which it doesn't, but getting it to wrangle. Plus the initial clip out of bounds is pretty tricky too. And there's a couple of different points of failure that can occur with this strat. So, gonna do another one. Getting this clip.
あ、また端っこに行ってるよ。
You have to get like the perfect angle with SpongeBob.
この動きは。
Pushes Danny through the
はい、
walls.
落ちた。
Very solid. Gonna swap SpongeBob out immediately, and is gonna do a couple of wraps and then eventually a pause in order to flip the camera around.
Alright, and then I think from here... Okay, yeah. Oh, wait. Okay, I think I did it wrong. Oh, wait, no, this is okay. It's alright.
You know where you are.
これあれですね。だから普通にやったら結構長い
You landed on a
ステージ
but you're still out of
ってことですよね。
That has
Usually that puts you in bounds. Okay,
That has not
nice.
happened. Okay.
Really
so
cool game, by the way.
only in a marathon. Only in a marathon. Just gonna say that.
So you're trying to avoid that plane because it's a very easy way to land inbounds. Another pause right there to move the camera.
That wasn't it.
So the-
Unfortunately, I wasn't too close. This one should be it. There we go.
There you go. Yeah. So now that Crow has the camera lined up, he's gonna head like northeast around this big like foggy room. Like it is just. I guess this is a dry ice factory. And so he has to go around and sort of around the back left. He's going to take it, like, you want to take it tight because it's faster, but you don't want to be too close because you can either hit a kill plane or land inside, and that's really bad too.
Yeah, I had it once where I landed back in bounds twice, and that was really unfortunate because there's like this is the one area where kill planes are out of bounds.
攻略するはずのステージを見ながら
You know,
通り過ぎていく。
see if I can do it.
Oh, nice.
Baby, hold on!
Beautiful.
That's so hard.
Yeah.
That is so hard.
That is really difficult.
なんかうまくいったみたいですね。
Nice. Good, good,
That was an incredible out of bounds.
Outside of like you doing random meme strats, like this one's been really good.
What the heck is going on with this run? I don't like this. Oh my gosh. Anyway, so now we're in the second boss, which is Plankton in the top of the chump bucket with Mr. Krabs as he's trying to take his money because he super glues him to his pants.
カーニさんがちょっと
In line for Mr.
This
Krabs.
plankton model, I also just have to say, is horrible.
ひどい目に遭っている。
Like, just look how like he's wide at like the middle of his head area and then narrows instead of just being like bean shaped. I don't know. It just doesn't look like. And he's also floating off the ground because they didn't like properly set.
Yeah, friendly reminder, Plankton's name is Sheldon.
Sheldon J.
Sheldon J.
All right.
Alright.
Welcome to Plankton. This fight used to suck really bad.
お、ボス戦プランクトン。
Crow figured out how to make it suck less.
Actually,
Yeah,
this
so-
was found by another runner.
Oh.
So, so shout outs to True or Nico07. So they were able to find a strategy where the bubble bomb is actually going to become in more use with
ここはスポンジボブで行くんだ。
to do displacement clips. So with this instance, going to purposely
他の操作してないキャラがちょっと
is just
棒立ち的なのがちょっと笑う。
somehow after charging it, it's all set, and then right here, it's gonna let him fall. I'm gonna charge up a bubble bomb and then position myself at a specific spot. And by doing this, I can spam the
Oh,
heck out of my
poco,
bubble
poco, poco.
bombs, which deal actually the most damage in the out of all the abilities we have. This deals the most damage, which is very useful for this fight because beforehand, this fight used to take like 5 cycles at most to beat it much quickly. But now it only takes 3 cycles, just like with Vlad's. But it has to require some specific timing as well as making sure that other attacks don't interrupt the bubble bomb's hit because it will deal less damage. So I'm gonna try again right here. So again, you can just position SpongeBob in front, and then immediately it's gonna hit, and
That's a lot of damage.
also here comes
Yeah.
the best voice line in the entire game.
I need power.
I need power!
That's the only time. That's one of the few instances SpongeBob screams in this game is just because of power.
Even when he's like dying and he's running out of health, he'll just like meekly say, a little help here, guys. But when he's running out of his,
これは
I need power! And he's just screaming
He
it.
just needs that
勝
power.
手に裏返るのかな、この
Yeah,
ボスは。
he needs to help us be able to.
攻撃を避けて、
Right here, Plankton is currently going to be doing. He's going to like fall down 5 times to shoot out some lasers, and I'm going to try and manipulate it to see if I can get him to land right here on this 5th one. This is probably the 4th one, so if I'm lucky, this might be it. Okay, it wasn't it, unfortunately. So, but that only saves like 2 seconds, which isn't really much of a deal breaker.
あ、勝手にやっぱり裏返ってるな。
And if I'm good enough, I might be able to. There we go.
Yes, the free cycle. Yeah.
を倒した。
Very nice.
So he,
Oh yeah.
he has the second upgrade there on Timmy's like
Starflinger
beginner
ability.
attack, Starflinger, which really helps with the damage output there as well. That's something we didn't do because we didn't know any better.
Yeah, but it's been more of a scary one because sometimes if you like it's random or if you're able to space it out, the Starflinger's hit will actually like hit Plankton first before the bubble bomb because there's a bit of a delay before the next attack damage deals to Plankton. So that's more of a bit of a riskier way to do it, but because Plankton had a bit too much more health than he was supposed to,
うん、
I had to
パトリック来てます
I had
ね
to。just risk it. And thankfully it worked. So then Patrick just came down, falling into the glass and then landing on Plankton and it's saying
これプランクトンはロボ作りがちなキャラなのかしら。
say that nothing can stop the syndicate. Also, if you're wondering where Patrick fell from, he came from up there.
Up there.
Up there.
ああ、逃げていくと。
How everyone in the chat has just understood the eldritch horror that is 3D Timmy.
Oh my gosh, 3D Timmy. I'm more disappointed that this model is not as good as like the ones from Breaking the Rules and Shadow Showdown because that model 3D Timmy actually looks better. In my
ステージクリア。ジミーズラボ。
All right, now into the next section, which is
Eh?
Timmy's world. And we're going to be entering into Crowder's Fortress.
クリアした
This level in this category yep, it's something.
It's rough. This is probably the hardest out of bounds and one of the hardest out of bounds in the game. At least in any percent, this is the hardest out of bounds.
No, the hardest clip is the one in Bikini Bottom. That's
Oh, yeah.
nice.
Well, yeah. I'm talking straight
You're
up out of
talking
bounds
movement. Yeah,
here.
you're right.
Yeah, I'm talking movement.
Yeah.
The clip for this one is actually really easy. It's
ああ、これがあれだ、ティミーの 妖精さんなんだ。ああいう見た目なんだ。
On top of that, in any percent, you'd have to grab Helmet Dash for Jimmy here, which you would use for exactly one thing in the final boss, but we can skip that, so that's cool. I think this is actually another spot where you'd probably use like a cheerleader jump or something like that to get there a little bit faster. We
Okay,
don't
I gotta
worry
do
about.
this real quick. I gotta switch controllers because my player 2 controller has issues when I try going out of bounds with it. So I usually do this one with my first player my first player controller.
うん。
That was a good clip.
Yeah, he
ま
sets
た
up
抜けたな。
explosion in such a way where
もうあれですね、抜け
gets knocked
抜
back
け
whichever
るのが当たり前で、合間にちょっとちゃんとステージを攻略するみたいな。
you know? And then like, as he gets knocked back, it also just happens to set up Timmy for the clip. So what he's trying to do right now, this level is broken up into two sections. There's like the main part of the level that's kind of like the beat 'em up bit, and like a 5 branching path section. And this Out of Bounds is trying to take us straight to the 5 branching path segments. There's a couple of different setups and a couple of different approaches that you can take.
もうこのステージに至ってはステージの中も見えないっていうね。どういうステージだったんだろうって
Right before a cutscene trigger, that will
想像するしかないっていう。
straight into the next section. The other setups, you can land in the cutscene trigger from out of bounds, or you can land inbounds in the branching paths area a bit further past. That's the one that I do, but it's extremely risky and really not worth it. It doesn't save all that much time.
Not it.
So he's looking for a specific pause right here so that he can set up his camera in a specific way. And then once he gets to the right spot, he has to line himself up and time his falls and rewraps back to the sky in such a way as to get in bounds before kill planes will nab him. So
Yeah, and
it's got a little bit more movement to do.
In the meantime, while you guys are seeing this out of bounds, you get to enjoy some wonderful classic orchestral music.
It's such a banger.
Yeah, shoutouts to Melbourne Symphony for making the music. Alright. Here it comes right here. Gonna be very careful. Let's go.
Nice.
あ、戻ってきた。
Nice.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
those little the little parts right there in between like where I landed, those are actually some kill planes, and there is an invisible wall when out of bounds, and if you go too close to it, it will just immediately push you towards the kill plane on the right side, which will immediately put me back to the very beginning, losing like almost a minute and a half up to
今ちょっとね、テ
So
ィミーのセリフでね、We made it って出てたけど、何をやったんだっていうね。
I had a mega brain
壁を抜けてただけじゃないかって。
I wonder if
だけとか言っちゃいけないな。
the Crocker skull there with a displacement clip. I don't know if you've tried that.
oh yeah, it is. It's just much difficult because you have to do a character depth warp and
Oh, so it's just bad. Okay,
yeah,
cool.
the only one I've ever seen that has that is the former any percent run done by Chiringu, but it requires a depth warp, but it actually skips that cutscene. But I don't really let it go for it because it's really difficult because Danny is somewhat like the character that gets clipped in is a
ああ、あ
little
との二人は置いていく。
flooring, so that's what makes it a bit tough.
Yeah, I mean, there's also another strategy that Jaxler and I theorize. Well, not really theorize. You can,
置き去りにしても別に構わないんだ。
but you can clip into this big room, without having to watch the cutscene, and then you just have to come talk to Cosmo, and then you can do the rest of it as a normal. It's faster, but it's much harder.
And so we've also talked about maybe like using out of bounds navigations to get between. So like the 5 pads are kind of like spread out in a fan shape. And so we thought that it might be worthwhile to try like out of bounds movement to get between all of them. But we can use
Nice
something
Danny
here called
spawn.
another, yeah, great Danny spawn
And
with
SpongeBob's over there
a,
just gonna be chilling in the water.
yeah. Lag management's a really big thing here, especially when you're doing co-op. It can be really nice to.
Ooh, that's a good SpongeBob spawn. That is really
Nice,
good. He was
yeah.
right behind me.
He's gonna again. Whenever SpongeBob sets up the displacement,
またセッティングが。
he's going to have it until the level ends. So he's gonna clip Danny right through here, cut out a SpongeBob.
また抜けました
and
ね
he's。trying to make sure that he doesn't fall back in bounds right away and just get straight to the button.
I'm gonna play it safe right here because right here is
Okay.
also a spot where the players can spawn in. Yep,
Yeah, so he's gonna grab SpongeBob.
and just because the camera is a bit more easier to look through.
The real nice thing about this part is that, so he's going to do a pause right here, right at the top, so you can actually see as he's landing. Because it's actually really easy to over or undershoot that ledge right there. But the nice thing about this section is that you can just walk right out because you can go over the top of all the puzzles you skip. All of these different like
なんか
sections have like different puzzles
スイッチを押して
that have different characters.
なんだろう、でっかい宝石みたいなやつに光というかパワーを送ってるわけですね。
Nice. Okay, and then Jimmy just teleported to the other side, same with SpongeBob, because they're just programmed
Silly.
like that.
Yep. And
Also,
so
every time you hit one of these ground pound pads and you come back to the main room, there's more of those little minion dudes who spawn, and that can like annihilate your game with lag.
yeah, that's part of the
rough.
reason we tried theorizing going between the different wings out of bounds, so that we would only get the lag all at once as opposed to multiple times throughout different visits. But
Oh, made it.
nice. That's a hard cycle to make. So you have full invincibility when you're in over.
やっぱジミー強キャラですよね。なんかファントム状態みたいのになるとジャンプの飛距離も伸びるし。
As well can't hit you, so it's really useful. And for this instance, it is. So normally, like after you slam down these buttons, you would
あ、ジミーじゃないわ、ダニーか。
oh wow, that was a good Danny spawn. Okay. I don't know what is up with that so far right here. But
You're just too good.
it's too good. It's just the marathon luck. I don't know. But then again, I probably am jinxing it right now. But it's Nicktoons Unite, so then again, that's probably also why.
Nicktoons Unite for the Nintendo GameCube.
And then right here, we can surprisingly just clip through this gate. We can't.
It's so easy.
Yeah, like unlike the other ones in the second room.
簡単に抜けてい
You
く
can't。clip through those ones because those models are actually a little bit more bigger than this one. And I'm purposely keeping SpongeBob still on. So I'm not quitting out my second controller. I'm actually gonna quit out my first player controller, with Danny, because if I were to quit out, SpongeBob will be far. If I tried to switch, it would actually cause them to spawn in, which will basically make me soft locked.
Well, you could clip out with.
Oh yeah, true. It's just much slower.
It's a lot slower, obviously. So.
And then I'm gonna collect some. I don't think I probably have enough purple for Jimmy for this segment. I think I should. Let's just hope he doesn't spawn next to me. He's all right.
He's spawned, but the AI.
I was hoping he was gonna be far away from the camera so he can be closer to Danny.
So Jimmy's fastest form of movement is that like quarterback gear, but it takes so much energy because Jimmy's a nerd. So
He's a huge dork.
He's a 5-head.
dorks. Yeah, he's a 5-head. He's soft serve chocolate ice cream. He's a lot. None of which are very helpful.
True. This is now the bully Jimmy Neutron show.
Gosh.
He earned it.
He did.
Him and his sodium chloride nonsense.
No wonder he's called Nerdtron.
And Nerdtron.
Yeah, you're gonna do another partner death warp right there.
Yeah, but
Talk
that's
to Cosmo,
last
and that's gonna be
time.
the end of the level.
Woohoo!
Really well executed. Yeah.
Yeah, not bad. I don't think I had that many mess ups here besides like trying to alternate the characters at the beginning before doing it out of bounds because of the weird issue I have with my controllers. But yeah, that was not a bad segment because like this segment for NG Plus normally takes like 9.5 minutes, mostly because this cutscene takes like 30 seconds. So this is probably also going to be like a 9.5 minute segment as well, which is not bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, looking
We
at
get a little bit of a break going into the next level, which is nice.
Actually, wait, this might be on tie with my gold. I think I don't know. I'll have to retime this because I'm not comparing against.
おー、クリアした。
29.
Oh wow, because normally I get like a 30 to 35, but I think
フェアリーワールド。
23, but I have to look back at it all. But that is pretty
Yeah,
good.
Yeah, and some of that's RNG a little bit as well, whether or not you get good spawns. So, yeah, now we're in Fairy World. So this is like you're supposed to get 2 abilities here. One's Ghostly Whale, which again we already have because it's New Game Plus. But you're also supposed to like get the group heal ability for Timmy, which is just useless. And on top of that, you're supposed to save all of these like really depressed looking fairies. I'm just gonna say it. They're
really
character
dopey.
Yeah.
they look really sad.
You'll see what
you'll
Jackson's been
see.
talking about when you look at the top right after this cutscene is finished and Jorgen's
なんか
dialogue.
ムキムキの人出てきたな。
You'll see why Jax is basically saying they're like that.
It's so funny.
I mean,
but you're
they're not-
supposed to save all of
They're
them.
not as depressing as
But-
the ones in Haunted Amity Park.
They're up there, you know. They're up there on the totem pole.
Well, the ones in Haunted Amity Park are haunted. Oh yeah, that guy, he's seen some stuff.
He has seen the seams of the universe.
Thank you, children. Free at last.
Yeah.
How would you guys?
Yeah.
I told you that the same that like the so if you ever like heard the voice lines of those fairies, how would you feel if I told you that the same voice actor of them was actually Walker's voice actor?
I hate it.
Yeah. So this is actually where we're gonna see another example of.
ちょっと一旦離席しますね。
It's really easy to set up because you just throw Jimmy right into the corner and you get it
too late.
pretty much every time.
There we go.
It's a pretty tight.
So that's
start
about
anywhere.
80% of the level skipped right there.
Yeah, it saves like 2 minutes from like having to save all the 7 fairies that were needed, and a little cool thing right here.
Yep. This is a movement fundies level, which is interesting because a lot of time there's like out of bounds movement fundies, but this just has a lot of cool parkour strats to it for no good reason.
So yeah, this level rocks. It's really cool.
I
This
just
is
call it
like-
the bubblegum level, just because of how pretty
Yeah.
it is. It's so nice.
Yeah.
Also,
Alright,
cool
anyway,
swag
looking-
strat.
Swag strat for the people.
Let's go.
Nice.
Nice.
Just-
That's also one of the things that I take credit for because
I love jumping on clouds.
found, like, it's so fun.
It's really great.
It's
This is like a really annoying puzzle segment that you can just skip for free just like that.
Yeah, yet another SpongeBob full soak walk cycle, as someone said in the chat, completely skipped.
His
And
little
you
model.
were right, person who said that. It is very distressing, just watching him walk.
It's
I call it
so
I call it the
slow.
Niagara Falls. It's the Niagara Falls walk, you know. It's just like
And then, okay, so we had to deal after dealing with these enemies and their projectiles because they really hate us. I'm just gonna do a ghost jump over here. You normally can like shoot, you can normally like bring that crystal wall down with a ghostly whale, but I didn't really want to because it's a bit slower, and just because for the heck of it, I really just wanted to do it. Like just wanted to ghost jump over it. But the second one, we had to do a ghostly whale, and then I had to break down this wall with this.
oh, you're getting body blocked. Wait,
Oh my gosh! Please.
it'll still play pretty.
Oh,
Oh my
works,
gosh, it
nice.
still worked. And frame rate as well.
Oh, lag. Oh, it's beautiful.
Oh my gosh, really just
So now we just punch our way up to here, and we're going into probably my. Okay, so we've been dogging on this game, right? And for good reason, right? This game sucks, but
Oh yeah.
really not
this
good.
fight. This fight's pretty rough, casually. In the speed run, this fight is so sick.
It's incredible.
So cool. This is like one of my favorite parts of the speed run, because the way.
Scary.
Yeah, the way that this fight works is similar to those generators back in like Vlad's section, where you need to, well, in this case, we need to stun the boss, and then we need to freeze each of these electrical pillars and then break them with Timmy. And so the issue though is that in co-op, it's a lot easier to do that because you have one person running around with the freeze glove and another going around behind Timmy, breaking them all. Crow is just a single human being. So that makes doing this in a one cycle extremely difficult. So what he's going to end up doing is he's going to set it up so that SpongeBob like absolutely destroys Crocker with the water bombs or the bubble bombs. And then we're just, it's really tight. Crow has hit it once, RTA. Let's see if we get this.
Alright, I'm gonna be a little bit careful with this.
ただいま戻りまし
As
た
one。controller, as one player.
え
I'll see if I can get the one cycle. I only got
あ、ボス戦になってる。
hard to get it so
黒か。
Yeah, getting this strat solo is ridiculous.
Alright, here it comes. If I can pick it up. If Crocker can just not be a meanie.
Yeah, so he swaps out. There's generator 1. Generator 2 has to do very quick inputs here. Come on.
Darn it, I was close!
Almost got it.
Almost there. That would save almost 35 seconds because of this long combat that takes quite a bit. But this is actually going to be an okay time because I actually need to collect some more purple, some more purple energy for SpongeBob's power because he has half. But because there's 3 phases for this fight, and this is just at least an okay time to be filled up for phase 2 and phase 3 because phase 3 is going to be using it again as well.
Yeah,
Alright.
that strat is easier, but because the setup's way better for like this phase is actually the easiest because I mean just look how close together all the generators are.
ああ、上に登っていくんだ。4つの
Okay, that should be it.
ポールを壊して、
I also
どんどん上に登っていくんだ。
too close to the generators because if I do, Timmy's freeze glove ability will not actually make contact with the generator, which is pretty dumb. But like when he's at a specific distance, it'll actually work and very useful. And then right here, I'm gonna try and set up a position, but I have to be very quick because if I don't, Crocker's gonna go back into a fight phase over here. All right.
Yeah, so right here he's going to switch to Timmy freeze, quit out of Timmy, partner warp him over here so that he can get to this one up in the top left corner. He has to do it left side into right side so that he can get Timmy off camera so he can successfully get the partner warp. This is only able to be done in a 2-cycle. So he also has to be very careful. There's a bunch of moves that Crocker can do here that are really, really bad. So he's gonna get Timmy out of the way so they'll never get bothered by it. And then he's using the Z button shield with spun or
Oh no, wait,
power,
no, it's
right?
an invincibility that's in the middle of the level that I just used because
これクロッカーを
turns us into
一
those
回倒さないと
you see right there.
ポールが壊せないっていう感じかな。
I can actually prevent it from hitting me because in order to like cause it to not happen, you would have to fall, and then that'll be it. But
A bit of a rough partner warp, unfortunately, but it should still be on pace for this cycle.
I hope so. Oh no!
あ
Well,
Yeah, that's. So we're gonna have a 3-cycle here. That's fine.
yeah, it loses like
This game
30 seconds. That's
sucks.
okay. Yeah, I was too far from the ledge, unfortunately, so we're gonna be put back in another combat section. I'm not gonna quit out of Timmy, and then I just get pushed purposely because Crocker is also a meanie like the other bosses, and just
I
gonna.
mean, we gotta keep in mind that he's playing this game with, like 2 controllers at once. So the fact that he's like doing this well at all is kind of incredible.
It was tough. Oh gosh, dang! I turned into a gremlin. I gotta fall. Okay, there we go.
Oh, that fixes it?
Yeah, that fixes it.
What?
I'm pissed.
I'm so mad.
Okay, there we go.
There's the fight.
All right, there we go.
Yay!
おお、倒した。これ4人
Rotating in the cutscene and
集まってやってたら画面分割はしないか。
Like his voice line still like
で
story.
も画面外にいたらわかんないもんな。
I'm spinning all around. The Doomsday Machine is fully charged. You don't have a chance. And he just
Did I
flies
mention-
away.
Yeah, did I mention that this game sucks?
Let's see. How long ago did you ever say that?
Last
Quite
level.
bad.
It's quite not.
Yeah, that was
I
too
will
long.
s-
Yeah, that took quite a while.
I will say, despite this game just objectively not being great, it is very fun. In all the wrong ways. So if you're ever just looking for a good time, just with a bunch of friends, we did that. So Drunkle and I are part of have been part of a group called Speedruns Rochester, and we did a 4-player co-op playthrough in person on GameCube, and it was a lag feast.
さあ、50分経ったのでそろそろ
4 hours of our lives.
終盤に差し掛かってると思うんですが。
Gaming experience ever. It was incredible.
So bad.
Like if you've never played this before, playing through it casually with a bunch of friends is incredibly fun.
Meanwhile, I'm
it's
just
so-
here, just like hearing all of this because I only started writing just because of these guys.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, we
Because Crow,
apologize for that.
as you'll see after this run, Crow is like really good at a lot of the Nicktoons games, and just was like, okay, I guess I have to try to Unite now. And it also got really
this was
good
the
at
last
Unite.
game because like I tried learning this at first in 2021 and I couldn't continue after the first 2 levels. Then I just said screw it. I'm not gonna run this yet. But then I decided to get I decided to try it out again, and in less than like a couple months I got used to the game surprisingly. And then I started doing runs, and here I am now.
This is probably one of like the most fun levels from the co-op aspect, I think. So what he's gonna do is put Timmy in a position where he is busy and occupied while
Dang it.
picking up
I
one of
missed the
those
cutscene skip.
screws, or one of those bolts. I don't know what they're called.
I think they're just
They're
nuts.
They're
Nuts
nuts.
bolts.
They're nuts. That's
Nuts
right.
bolts.
And so what he can do is, Timmy's AI is programmed to throw those things if he's not in an animation once he has made an AI character. But if you have him doing something such as picking up the thing, or even in the middle of his walking animation, it interrupts that process and allows you to take these nuts to places where they're not supposed to go. And so that's gonna let us skip like multiple portions of like these puzzles. We're gonna do an overshadow long jump. This one is pretty tricky.
Okay, there we go.
Nice.
I was going more towards the like upwards because the model on top, like upwards, like it's more messed up than like towards the side. But I just try to go for it just to, like get some minimal movement. And then right here, gonna bring back Timmy and pick up another bolt or another one, and then.
This one's just funny. You just throw. You're supposed to break that open with bubble bomb.
You can
just
drop
put
them,
it down.
You can drop them, which is really useful for this part right here. And then it saves us also having to get another one because I'm gonna do the same thing as well. And I'm also like going ghosts right here just because you can see that like when you're closer to those specific flea bots or like the fleas, they're actually gonna get closer to you. And oh my gosh, okay, this is a bit okay. This is not gonna be okay. Okay, that's good. That's good. Allies, please. Danny, thank you.
Why is Danny so huge?
This is not good. Okay.
He's a big boy.
He's a big boy. Yeah.
Yeah, you'll see a nut over there. You're supposed. It's like 30 seconds out of your way. It's just bad.
Yeah, most
so
of this is just like some more continuing movement and okay. Just didn't register my jump because the game has a bit of a delay every time it tries to read inputs. There's like a certain amount of frames that it takes before the next input is registered, and if you try and like continuously mash, that causes it to like be delayed, especially with like the cutscene dialogues as well.
普通に見てたけど、このステージは普通に攻略してますね。
This is what too much Nicktoons does to somebody. This is your brain on Nicktoons.
You know what? You're actually right. I will say that. All right.
So what Crow's gonna do here is get Danny in a position. He's gonna set up the sort of weird state where Timmy's just holding the nut, and then walk into this cutscene, which is gonna force it out of Timmy's hands, which actually triggers the displacement glitch and gives him a massive object displacement hitbox. And it's going to make this next clip extremely free. And so the way that the back portion of this level is set up is that in order to get into like Goddard's memory core or whatever, Goddard needs to like, I guess, trust the other Nicktoons. And so you like go through like these weird like memory
と思ったら抜けましたね。
dream segments. It's
Yeah,
funky.
they're
But luckily,
they're segments
they're all
you
out
have
of
to
bounds.
get they had to do to get Gar's trust in order to go into his like a specific part, like I think his audiovisual room
Cortex.
in his body. So basically that's what we're supposed to do. But in order for us to go in there, we have to get his trust with Danny, SpongeBob, and Timmy using each of their abilities in like some segments to collect specific like wrenches, I believe. And then but then like right here we can able to just enter into one of them because they're out of bounds. And then okay.
So Timmy's gonna pick up a bomb and then throw it. We want to do that on purpose to cancel displacement glitch. Also, there's just a hole in the wall right there.
There we go.
Boom.
Nice.
That's actually a bit scary because you can actually sometimes soft lock if you try and land in that cutscene. If you go more towards like right here where they're currently on, it will immediately activate this cutscene instead, and you'll just be soft locked with the fleabot not loading in, which is the next boss. But so
Yeah.
so that's why like I'm always scared every time I try and do this out of bounds. It's one of the only reasons why.
で、何の準備もしないで落ちていきましたね。
Like that out of bounds we did to skip into the trust segment, that saves almost 7 minutes of gameplay. Because this level without this boss is like
あとボス戦だ。
10 to 11 minutes.
なんかもう最後の方っぽいステージの感じはしてましたけど、まだラスボスじゃないのかな。
Continuous gameplay, which is very good, along with like some additional cutscenes, which would have taken quite a bit of time.
All right, Jungle, do you want to explain why this fight sucks?
Yeah, so this fight is rough. You can't do a whole lot of damage to the fleabot, so Crow's using his SpongeBob's just normal slaps, and I know sometimes he'll use the bubble bomb as well, like he's gonna switch to right now. We have 25 spare lives here. That is completely necessary because as the fight goes on, every time the fleabot jumps around, it sends out a shockwave, which always hits your opponents because your teammates, because they don't know how to get out of the way. Also, while you're doing damage to him, he still spits out attacks and he spawns in smaller fleas. So you will see his teammates are getting annihilated right now.
Is this really gonna be a recycle?
You will take a lot of deaths doing this fight. This fight's actually going remarkably well.
I'm surprised because
right now.
I messed up a lot trying to deal damage. Alright.
But yeah, normally the Fleabot's hard to pin down, hard to do a lot of damage to at once, and he does a lot of damage back to your team, so you will eat a lot of
あとちょっと。
Yeah. You burn through specials. Oh, wow!
Wow! How did
Wow!
I recycle this? This is,
Recycle.
what?
倒した。
That was incredible.
I am
Yo, this game sucks. No, I'm just kidding.
I am
Well, I'm not
so
kidding,
confused.
but-
Literally, like the recycling this boss is actually much harder just because of like all the enemies, the projectiles, and just losing a bunch of lives in general just from this fight alone. And if you actually run out of lives on this part, you're transported to the very beginning of the level all over again.
Yeah, it sucks. But now we're going into the final boss, so it's gonna this fight's pretty fun because like it's a good
これがファイナルボス
fundamentals that we talked about.
みたいですね。
Tech as well as like the partner warps are really critical here, generally because the AI in jail.
なんか知らないのが乗ってる。
Sitting on
誰
floors to sit in his seat. That is just so funny.
He's a small boy.
He's a peanut. But
He also talks very quiet. It's hard to hear him.
ポカン、ポカーンってしてる。
the audio mixing in this game
Wait,
is
Tim
just
Curry? That's Tim Curry?
Yeah, that's Tim Curry.
Oh my
He's also
god, I
Nigel
did not know
Thornberry
that.
and the Wild Thornberries.
How did I not know that?
and he also plays the mastermind in Scooby-Doo Night of 100 Frights.
あ、みんななんか悪い人たち乗ってるんだみんな。
I haven't played it either, but it looks
い
pretty.
やいや誰？
Yeah, but again, like I'm sure that game's great. Also, shout out to
Oh,
being a fish.
Plankton.
You probably still see these helmets.
Well, not only that, but also just like part of his green sphere is not loading in properly. It's probably something about the near clip plane on the camera, which is
Yeah,
very
just
funny.
like how that ghost portal from the start of the game didn't load in correctly either.
Go.
ね、見たことない。ちょっと右側が
Specific,
すごいじゃん。
like order that you have to do this. You have to.
これはどうやって倒すんだ？
to hit these buttons which rotate other platforms around, so that we can break all of these sort of barriers here, and then each one of these four sections will use the force field on one of the
Oh, that was fast.
villains in here, and then we whack them, and we have to take down
Oh.
Plankton and
攻
Crocker
撃してるな。
Calamitous.
Yeah, and you can also just hit the active enemy like right through like the entire contraption. It's like a massive hitbox.
Yeah, and this is also
again-
a frame rate issue right here as well. Game is really struggling in this room just because of how many enemies are loaded in, as well as like the amount of things that are just moving entirely. Alright, good Jimmy. Jimmy's all the way over there, so I'm gonna do like a little character warp.
ああ、各ところのレバーを引くと、
Ability is more useful when dealing with these enemies with
それに対応したボス
boss because of
が出てきて、それを叩くと。
them from behind as well. And then okay, so I'm gonna align myself for the next part.
Yeah, you can't really one cycle each of these phases unless you have two players or two controllers actively pushing buttons. So Crow's just going to be going for 2 cycles on each of these.
If I can, I'm gonna hope. Because these enemies can really just screw you over. Alright, good Timmy spawn. Alright. Gosh dang it, I got hit. Please not calamitous. Okay, if I don't get shrunk,
プ
it
ロ
should be okay.
プロフェッサーカラミティウス。
Dang it, I got shrunk.
Can you not use their freeze glove while shrunk?
No, you can't use your abilities while you're shrunken.
Oh, just fall off, right?
I don't think so. Oh,
I'm a genius.
okay, I did not. I never knew about that.
Because if it worked with the gremlins, it should work with the shrink effect.
Well,
that
I
was
found a
my...
new strategy.
I'm just too good. No, I'm pretty bad at this game.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So, so
the
also with
whirlwind
this fight,
attacks
I
are,
have to press down specific button pads. Like there's these
Oh.
like only some of the platforms that I have to move along to hit the next ones, and it's really difficult to do this off memorization. So just to make it fair, I'm just using a chart that gives me like the graph of where I'm supposed to do. So shh, it's not cheating. It's clever thinking.
It's an open note test.
Yes.
All right, now we're gonna hut. Run's almost over. Time's actually going to be coming up decently soon. It's going to be on final hit of Calamitous.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and get ready with time. Eventually, this is probably gonna be a 2-cycle.
あれ、また戦うんだ。
Ow, ow, ow. Alright.
He makes some very hilarious noises.
Alright, ready on time? Time!
In time.
Nice.
あ、タイマーストップです。GG です。
That is really good. So, world record is 102.09, and that is pretty crazy that I played only like less than 2 minutes from my world record, because that run was really good.
いやー、なんか、なんだろう。
I think the only thing I had like a good thing with in this one
半分以上壁抜けしてた。たまに普通に戦って攻略してみたいな。まあバッドなのかしら。
of the Doomsday Machine. So they're just stopping him, saying that like it's over for you, but Professor Calamitous has the backup because it's still activated.
I love the smiley face on the left side.
3D Timmy. And you just got SpongeBob just continuously like looking around.
結局なんかエネルギーを盗んでいるっていうのはどうなったんだ。これでやっつけて。
This is dancing.
Okay. I just want to like kick him off Sparta style into the pit. He's just right there. It just looks so tempting. You know what I mean?
これ爆発落ちじゃないの？
What do you do?
あ、
そんなことなかったわ。
He unplugged it by unplugging the back parts of Chibi Robo.
Hey, that's a good game. You're not allowed to talk about that on this.
Honestly, Calamitous is a bigger dork than Jimmy is.
Okay.
Somehow.
Yeah, if such a thing is even possible.
I will say this is not the only time you're actually going to see Calamitous in this marathon. Hint, hint, for what's coming up soon. So I'm just going to leave it at that. So,
yeah.
Now at this point, all the heroes are going to be transported back into their own worlds because because
これで世界は守られたと。
mainly SpongeBob, because he actually had the high IQ of knowledge. Take that, Jimmy. Now, what's going to happen here is that they're going to be going away, but in the meantime, I just want to give some shout-outs to some, communities and individual runners. So first, I want to give a shout-out to the Nicktoons speedrunning community. We're not really much of an active community, but we still try and find ways to find strategies in this game and being able to just lower the times for certain categories as quickly as we can. So there's if you can join in the Discord, and it's with the other games as well with this series, so like Nicktoons Unite, this game, Battle for Volcano Island, Attack of the Toy Bots, Globs of Doom, as well as the Nickelodeon kart racer games as well. So if you were really, if you were actually interested about it, or have some interesting questions about some of the tricks, how they work, you can feel free to ask about it, because
左の子誰？あ、みんなポータルを通って自分の世界に帰っていくってことですね。
Yeah.
Oh wait, first eye roll.
Classic.
I spent all their animation budget on that eye roll.
Yeah. Okay.
Honestly,
so now I want to give some shout outs to Stern Runner. So I want to give a huge shout out to Chiringu and 44100 Hertz. They are the main brains for this game, finding many of the tricks and strategies and the out of bounds and the movements and all the displacement clips and all that. That was all for
はい
them.
ということで、
More than half a decade ago, and are
ただいまのゲームは
which
え
at least used to help bring this game down as quickly as we can.
Nicktoons Unite でした。
Now I want to also give a shout out to I want to give a huge thank you to my commentators for joining in with me to help showcase this game, but also being the reasons why.
それでは次のゲームの準備がありますので一旦失礼いたします。
Yeah.
I love how you hesitated calling it game. I found it very
I
funny.
mean, hey, look, this was their first time working on this game, and I will say this: it has improved with the later ones, but kind of in a good way for us as speedrunners, but not so much in I guess, like for the
Yeah.
developers. But yeah, that is gonna be it with Nicktoons Unite. Also want to give a big thank you to Big Bad Game-a-Thon for letting me be able to showcase this game, because it's my first time ever showing this game in a marathon, which I'm really happy about. But yay. And also the voice cast list, and there you can see the male fairy is voiced by James Arnold Taylor, who is also Walker. So there's your fun fact of the day about this game. But yeah, that is gonna be all, at least with this game. But if you want to look forward for some more Nicktoons, stick around, because next run is going to be another Nicktoons game. But what may it be? Well, you'll have to wait and find out. But other than that, I'm going to have to end it here. So thank you guys very much for watching, and enjoy the rest of your time here at Big Bad Game-a-Thon. See ya.
Hey, everybody. Take care.